Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine, here with the R Holistic Killer, aka Sonia B. I am back with another prophetic message that I received this morning, last night. Oh my God, let me just tell you that the spiritual realm was off and popping. Like when I say I felt like I was dreaming like an hour after I went to sleep, all the way up until the time I woke up, I felt like there was so many dreams. It was so hard to kind of catch or hold on to some of the dreams. And some of the dreams when I woke up, I actually did not remember, to the point that, my spirit guides had actually brought it back to my attention, at least the important ones that I needed to share with you guys. So anyway, for those of you who are new to my channel, I just want to say welcome. And for those of you who are returning back, I want to say welcome back. Keep in mind that I want you guys to understand this. Whatever messages that I receive in the spiritual realm, like sometimes it may be something, I don't necessarily want to say it's good or bad, but in a sense, it's kind of, I'm just going to say it's good or bad, because I know some of us in the early part of our journey, especially myself, I know that certain things I feel like are wrong, but there are things that I also realize that, as they say, all bad things work together for the good. So it may seem as if they're bad in the midst of going through a situation, but sometimes, we see how we had to go through that learning lesson experience in order to gain some sort of wisdom, or in order to handle things a little differently. So I just wanted to let you guys know that if you guys are looking for a picture perfect channel, here is not the place to find that, because I have to be myself, and sometimes it's raw, authentic, but it's the truth, and if you guys are looking for somebody to always have something, I'm not going to say that it's not going to be positive, but I know we're a day and a time now that we need to hear positive things. And yes, we should surround ourselves around like positive people. But I will say this too, that sometimes, let's be honest, we have to live in this world. And then sometimes the people in this world, people are not like us. We're not all the same. We're different and unique and different in our own ways. And I say all that to say that, what I say, people may not necessarily agree with. And then you have those who are open-minded to hear exactly what it is that I had to say. But keep in mind also, too, the information that I receive is basically to help you, to warn you in advance, giving you the spiritual 411, so that way that you know what's going on, what's taking place ahead of time. Now, granted, sometimes this energy could be happening right now at that specific moment, that week, or it could be happening, or it could have also probably happened to some of you already. But whoever the video or whatever message that you guys need to hear, those individuals are going to be led to my channel, should I say. So I say all that to say that, yes, everybody may not resonate with me. I carry a certain frequency with myself that, resonates with other people. So if you find yourself here for a short period of time and you feel like my message doesn't resonate with you, obviously we're not on the same frequency or whatever. And that doesn't mean that that's necessarily a bad thing. It just means that there are probably somebody else out there who you can relate more with rather than myself. So I'm not offended by that, because I know sometimes I come carrying the truth, and I know sometimes that the truth can kind of feel like it hurts people, and that's not my intentions to try to hurt anybody. But however the divine spirit of light shows it to me, gives it to me, that's how I have to deliver it to you guys. I can't sugarcoat it, I can't candy coat it, because if I do that, it will be, what I'm hearing is it'll be of doing a disservice to you guys, as a sense of, babying you, coddling you, trying to hold your hand. No, we're a day and times that we're all meant to grow and mature spiritually, is what I'm hearing. So it's no more of being baby, acting like a baby, or being immature. At some point in time, it was okay to be a baby. As they say, sometimes certain people are like babes in Christ, as they were saying. You mean like, for those of you who are familiar with it, I can't really remember it, because I know I used to be able to quote certain scriptures. Now it's almost like some of them just kind of fell by the wayside. But I say all that to say there was a certain scripture where it talked about being babes in Christ. You have to feed babies milk. And then you have those that you can't just go and feed a baby meat, because the meat is considered the heavy stuff. If you go and feed a baby meat, the baby is most likely to choke on it. So I say all that to say that, there possibly are heavyweight people out there who know a little bit more than what I know in regards to the spiritual realm or whatever. But whoever is watching my channel, I guess you're right where it is that you need to be. And at some point in time, we all grow, we move on, and we find other individuals who kind of resonate at our frequency or whatever the case may be. But I say all that to say, whoever's here watching, obviously you was meant to be here watching for a reason. But anyway, So with all that being said, let's keep in mind, as I said before, the energies could be happening or could have already happened depending on your location on the planet, because some people, could be in a different part of the region and they may have already experienced this, energy. And then those of you could be happening to you like today, tomorrow, within this week or so, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, even 6 months from now. So keep that in mind too. I don't get to determine the time frame unless Divine Spirit of Light kind of shows me that, shows me whether it's, I can't give you time frames unless I am able to see whether it's a day event or a night event, or whether it's a hot summer day, or whether it's a winter day, or it's a spring light day. Those are the only things that I can tell you when it's being shown to me. If I have not been given that information, then I can't give you the information, and I can't give you locations unless Divine Spirit of Light specifically shows me locations. So anyway, with all that being said, let's get right into the message. And let me just tell you guys, last night the spiritual realm was so active. When I say it was active, it was so active. Like, there was so many dreams that I felt like I was having that it was just hard to hold on to every one of them. When I woke up, it's like that one kind of just went away. But the ones I felt like I was meant to hold on to and deliver the message are the ones that I'm coming with today. So anyway, with all that being said, and when I'm done, I'm going to pull a couple cards after this. So let's get right into the message. Oh, and just to let you guys know that if you want to be able to receive updated messages every time I post a video, feel free to click that subscription button. That way that you'll be notified every time I do upload a video. That way you will get the 411 of what's going on, what's about to take place, and what's going down, and how everything is flowing. But anyway, with all that being said, let's get right in. So okay, this was very interesting. So last night, this came in the form of a situation with my spouse. And remember, I told you sometimes these things come with different people. So that way I know kind of like who the people that it's kind of happening to, or whatever the case may be. It came in the form of my spouse. So I say all that to say, I saw my spouse like sitting in the back seat of a car. And when I say spouse, I mean like the individual, like who I am separated from, should I say. They were sitting in the back seat of a car, and they was holding a intercom in their hand, like a brown intercom speaker, like the older ones looking ones, how they had in the school back in like, the maybe like around, I'm 47, I'm about to say 48. I'm putting myself at 48 before I even get there. I'll be 48 in January. But anyway, so I say all that to say that they was holding like a brown intercom speaker. They may be still kind of brown in the schools now. I think they're more tan, but I think back when I was in school, they were kind of like brown, the ones that would be up on the wall that they would use to do the morning announcements. So I saw him sitting in the back seat holding an intercom in his hand. And I was like, I kind of got the feeling like as if he was talking about me behind my back in a sense. And it's almost like he was trying to, it was almost like a form of disrespect is what I'm hearing. He was holding an intercom speaker in his hand and sitting in the back seat of the car. But the funny thing about it was he was sitting in the middle seat of the back seat of the car, where you can see straight through out the front window. So he was sitting there holding an intercom speaker in his hand. And I was just like, huh? But anyway, so I say all that to say, then I got the feeling like he had said something about me. I can't remember if it was to other people or if he just kind of thought a certain way about me, that he thought or felt a certain way about me. But I say all that to say, the message that I had received from that, with him sitting there holding the microphone, him holding the intercom speaker, with him sitting there holding the intercom speaker, I felt like at that moment that was God kind of speaking to him. And I say all that to say, because he was like in a humbling, he was sitting in the back seat of the car. That right there alone was a sign of him having to take the back seat. And it's almost like what I'm hearing is move out of the way and take the back seat, because it's almost like God is speaking now. Like God is speaking to you now. So follow orders, follow pursuit is what I'm hearing. But I say all that to say, so him sitting there holding the intercom speaker, I noticed that he was humbled. It seemed like he was humbled when he was sitting there holding it. Like You know, like he was just listening. Although I didn't hear anything playing on the speaker, but it was as if divine spirit of light was, in other words, it's almost like he was meant to carry that speaker around because God basically was just going to be dealing with him, speaking to him in a sense. So that's what I had received from that message. But then I had to, and I know intercom is a way to communicate and translate, because remember the last time I told you guys I had a dream where, and thank you, Spirit. The last time I had a dream where I heard a lady on the intercom speaker again, and thank you, Spirit. God's bringing it to my attention again. So I heard a lady on the intercom speaker, because it made it seem like as if it was like in a school environment, although I didn't see a building, but we were outside as I heard this intercom speaker going. So with the intercom speaker going, I heard not this dream, but the last dream, probably like about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. But anyway, so for those of you who did not watch it, just really briefly, there was a lady came on the intercom speaking. And she basically said, Joel, or I was trying to figure out whether it's Joel or Joel. And what I didn't tell you guys was when I looked up Joel or Joel and just kind of felt, trying to remember what that meant or what it meant spiritually, Joel kept coming up. And if you guys know the story of Joel in the Bible, you guys should read that story, because I remember Joel, oh my God, like, Joel had what Joel. He had went through so much stuff in the Bible. He had his family taken away. People in his family died. You know, like God had just basically, like it's like he had fell from grace. You know, and for those of you who have experienced that, you understand what that's like, including myself, because there was a period in time I felt like Joel, you know, and I felt like I had fallen from grace, should I say. And it's just like, you know, everything that I had to go through. But I will say in the end, after, you know, God had allowed basically the enemy to test Joel and so on, just like Jesus. What I'm hearing too is just like Jesus had to be tested as well too. You know, we can't expect to come into the kingdom of God without having to experience something, is what I'm hearing. So I say all that to say that if you feel like your life has been turned upside down, if you feel like you have fallen from grace, and even if you're watching this video right now and you can't even relate to that, it could be a situation of you guys may find yourself end up experiencing that. You know, and even if you guys aren't experiencing that, not that I'm wishing that on anybody, but I'm just telling you because I kind of already saw, you know, what was to come in a sense in regards to relationships. But I say all that to say that, you know, later down the road, if you clicking on this video at that time, you know, it could be a year from now, it could be 2 years from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now. And if you're watching this video, you are someone who was meant to hear this message at this specific time, because obviously it's relating to you at that time. So that's just kind of like how the energies works. But anyway, I say all that to say Joel had to experience so much stuff in his life, you know, losing his kids and losing his home. I think he lost his home, if I'm not mistaken. He lost everything. Let me just say that. But anyway, I say all that to say, but he stood faithful to God. He stood faithful to God, you know, even in the midst of all. But anyway, so with all that being said, I felt like I didn't even share this because I thought about it after I did the video. I said I can't go back and re-record it. But the name Joel kept kind of coming up. But when I looked up Joe, it kept coming up as Joel. So that was just letting me know that it was pertaining to like Joel's story in the Bible. So when I mentioned to you guys that the lady spoke on the intercom system and she said some of you guys was going to receive good news and some of you guys was going to receive some not so good news in a sense. Around about the time I'd actually given that message, I didn't notice until one day. I think I was scrolling through my YouTube. I was going to my YouTube account, to one of my YouTube accounts. But I say all that to say, because I have one that's on private and then one that I just use for business or whatever the case may be. But the other thing was I didn't know, like an example, because I don't know specific people or places that events are going to happen to unless I see people in specifically, I guess, you know, and not only if I see them specifically, sometimes it's just resonating around about their age group or whatever the case may be. So I say all that to say, I didn't realize that, and may her soul rest in peace. I didn't realize this until, again, because I don't watch the news, so I don't know. So sometimes either YouTube is my news, or sometimes, like social media is my news, because I don't really know what's going on, because sometimes it's just too much, and sometimes empaths can become a little overwhelming with too much stuff that's just going on in the world. So I just choose to kind of like pull myself out of that situation in a sense. Yes, so I say all that to say, I didn't realize that Keisha Cole had lost her mom around about that same time I had kind of given that message or whatever. So may her soul rest in peace, because I know I had been, when Keisha Cole first came on the scene, I enjoyed watching this story, and I say that to say because they was just raw and authentic, with just their truths, not trying to sugarcoat anything or hide anything, and just with the mere fact, my heart goes out to her, because anybody losing, I can't really say what that feels like, because my mom is still here, whatever the case may be, but my heart goes out to her, or whatever the case may be, and her family or whatever, and hopefully they find the closure that they need in order to heal their family, heal their family bloodline, should I say. So I say all that to say that the message that came through, so I just wanted to let you guys know that. So again, the path of some of you guys receiving some good news, as well as some receiving some not so good news. I'm sorry to those who had to receive the unfortunate news or whatever, but just know that God, Source Spirit, is there leading you and guiding you. And this just at a point in time that he just basically just wants you to some things we try to handle on our own. And at some point in time, he just basically wants you to just surrender and say, hey, I can't do this all by myself. I need your help. I need somebody to be strong for me. Because I know there was a period in time, one time, I was like, oh my God, like I have everybody else's back. I'm watching over my kids, trying to make sure we're protected, trying to make sure my home is protected. I was like, but who's ever watching over me? And I remember that night going to sleep thinking that to myself, like, oh my God, like I wish somebody had my back or whatever. Like, like I know I would have other people's back in a sense. But God spoke to me that night. He showed me in a dream how I was spiritually protected, and that I woke up that morning feeling so great with just knowing, thank you, Lord. Thank you for at least having my back. So if that's a message that somebody needs to hear, I just wanted to share that, and I felt like Spirit would just kind of lead me there. But anyway, so I just want to let you guys know that. So keep in mind, some of you guys may find yourself, and if it's not happening to you, it could be happening to someone that is close to you, somebody within your vicinity, friend, family member, co-worker. It doesn't matter. So let me just say that God is going to be speaking to certain people, should I say, and it came in the form of a male archetype, but this could be happening to a female archetype as well too, because remember we all carry masculine as well as feminine energy in us. But I saw a male archetype anyway, and it came in the form of my separated spouse or whatever. But anyway, so God is dealing with certain people at this time. The next dream that I received, this one is very important, guys. So this dream was about, there are going to be people who are trying to sell you stuff. This came in the form of this man trying to sell like some candy or whatever, like a little dome of chocolate candy. It was like really, really big, but it was like candy, but it came in the form of a game. So I say all that to say, just be mindful of how you spending your money, because in the dream, it came to me as if like, no, don't spend your money on nothing that you do not, in other words, something frivolous, if I'm saying that right. If it's not something that you don't need, don't spend your money on it. And don't just go because what, thank you, Spirit. Because what I'm hearing is you guys are being tested. So in other words, like God wants to know, it's almost like don't go investing your money into things that does not serve your soul purpose. Thank you, Spirit. That does not serve your soul purpose. So in other words, just because you want to help somebody out, or just because you want to, what I'm hearing is, just because you want to help somebody out, if you don't need it, don't spend your money on it, in other words. So don't take something into your home that you don't need, or spend money on it if you don't need it, period. Because I saw, again, it was coming in a form as if God is just kind of testing you, because there are going to be people that may try to persuade you. And I've seen this before in a dream before too. not this dream, but another dream before too, where people was trying to get people to sign stuff. But anyway, so just keep that in mind. If you don't need it, don't buy it. If it's not something that you can't use and you don't necessarily need it, don't buy it. Don't invest your money in it. Now what I'm hearing is, I'm not talking about charity. If you want to give, that's fine. I'm talking about just things like, you see, let's just say somebody on the street and you feel like you want to support them. I'm talking about from that point of view. You see somebody on the street, like, who's selling something, or somebody that has a what do you call it, like a stand outside, or maybe even in the store. You know how sometimes people try to get you to buy certain things, whether it's a mattress, or whether it's a new product. And Lord knows, when you go into Costco's, they always trying to have people to sell you this or sell you that and all that other stuff. So if you don't need that stuff, don't buy it, is what I'm hearing. Anyway, so some of the stuff was overpriced too, like for what this individual was selling. And okay, so this one is interesting too. So this one is another dream that I also had too, and this one came in the form of my spouse again. Former spouse, the one I'm separated from in real life. So it showed up as him in the dream. So this is pertaining to some of you guys. Some of you guys going to have a situation where what I'm hearing is either you're maybe a spouse that you're separated from, or somebody that maybe you were engaged to, or you're engaged to, but maybe y'all separated, maybe somehow got kind of called off, or whatever the case may be, is what I'm hearing. But what I saw and what I heard was, it's almost, and I really feel like this is piggybacking off of the first dream when I said that they was being humbled by God because they were sitting in the back seat. They were told to take a back seat. And I say all that to say, this individual is gonna come to you, and it's like, for some particular reason, they're gonna have a change of attitude. Why, I don't know, but I just saw this in the dream, so know this. And it's gonna probably catch you off guard. And the reason why I said it's gonna catch you off guard is because in the dream, I was trying to share some of the events. He was there presently, so I was trying to share some of the events that myself as well as our kids had experienced on his journey, should I say. I was sharing it with him, and it's like I kind of caught myself. Like, instead of actually sharing it with him, I kind of kept quiet for a minute, because I felt like any other time, because in my walk of life, y'all, I just want y'all to understand, all this in my walk of life, real life, there was times where he used to sit up there and tell me he didn't want to hear the stuff that I had to say, especially when it came down to anything spiritually, and rightfully so, because even now, I am learning to have boundaries when it comes down to, if people don't want to hear what I have to say, then I'm not going to share it. So in other words, so I ask, if you care to hear, is what I normally say. So, just even with my family period alone, because I realized, rather than me wasting my time, my energy on people who don't appreciate, my gift or talent, just like I said, I had to walk away from a job because I felt like people didn't respect me in general. That's fine. I'll keep the information to myself. I can keep my energy to myself. I'm only here just to be a warning and to warn you of what's to come. So if people don't want to hear that, that's fine. I'm not trying to force it down their throat. I have even had to learn that boundary myself, because whereas before, I'm just always like, oh my God, well, let me share this with you. Let me let you know what's to come, and it's like, and it wasn't something that I was doing purposefully. It was just a matter of just trying to help people, because it's like, you see things, things, and it's like, you want to help people, keep them from, experiencing, turmoil, or a situation that you already know that's going to be turned upside down. And rather than see them experience it, it's almost like you kind of help them, and almost like a saving. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Spirit's just saying, say it what it is. It's almost like being a crutch. So I was being a crutch to other people to keep them from learning their soul lessons, when all reality, they needed to learn those lessons. In some cases, especially those that you constantly keep finding yourself helping over and over, they will always come to you for advice, but it's almost like, I don't want to hear what you got to say. But what do you got to say? I don't want to hear what you got to say. It like that, in a sense. So I say all that to say, I basically stopped sharing, certain information. I just share information with my kids, but even if my kids don't want to hear it, basically keep it to myself or whatever the case may be. But anyway, so again, I've just learned to keep my energy to myself unless somebody asks. I politely ask them if you care to hear, what I have to say. But other than that, no, I'm not doing it anymore. But anyway, I say all that to say that so I was a little hesitant in the dream to even share, because this has been the past experience, that I've had to deal with him. And, it's just like, it's tiresome. It's like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I thought a spouse was there to kind of have your back, but I've learned to even stop looking at that and stop taking offense to it, because that's just a lesson that he has to learn, because some people are just hard-headed than others. And sometimes it takes other people to learn harder lessons than it does take other people. Me, 1 or 2 times at the most. At least if I don't get if I don't get the first time what it is that I see that God's trying to send me, but usually I try to get it right away. But then usually the second time I was like, oh, okay, we ain't repeating that again. So I'm done with that. So I say all that to say, and that's no judgment to anyone else who, may have to experience certain things over and over again. Because I get it. Sometimes that we got life that's, hitting us in every which direction. It's no judgment. Again, it has life just hitting us in every which direction, to the point that we're not able to focus. We're not able to listen and pay attention to the synchronicities of the universe. But anyway, so in the dream, I was a little hesitant to share with him as well, because in this walk of life, it has been that way as well too. So I just keep the information to myself or whatever. So I was about to find myself sharing with him, but then he was like, he came from a place, he had a totally different attitude. So he was like, no, like, go ahead. I'm not here to, in so many words, I'm not here to judge you. Like, go ahead. Cause I realize that other people's experience is different. And he just came from a much calmer place. Should I say, he came from a much calmer place, and I was like, but I was still a little hesitant, like, should I even say something? So I kind of started getting into the conversation, and he was just listening, and I was really surprised. And I was just like, it was almost like it was foreign to me. Like, is it safe? In a sense, like, I'm just waiting, because it may start off as like, I'm just waiting for, I don't want to hear that, just like that type of stuff. So I hesitated even after the fact of him saying, go ahead, finish saying what you were saying. And, him seeming a little open, but I was a little hesitant. So I say all that to say, some of you guys are going to find yourself dealing with that experience when you sitting up there sharing your journey with someone, whether it was somebody that you're married to and you were separated from, or somebody that you was engaged to, or even, yeah. And even what I'm hearing is somebody that maybe you were engaged to, but maybe y'all called it off and somehow went your separate ways in a sense. But anyway, take it how it resonates. This individual is basically going to come to you guys, and it's like, you're going to want to share your journey with this individual, and you are going to find yourself being a little hesitant in the process of doing so, because of everything that you have experienced. So it's almost like walking on eggshells. So it's like you're not going to reveal yourself until you know that it's safe. But even when you do have the floor and the opportunity, is what I'm hearing, to and they let you know to go ahead, share, I'm listening, it's almost like you guys are going to still even feel like just a little bit of hesitation as well too, because that's just been the pattern that they have put out for so long. So with all that being said, that was, I believe that was pretty much it. So yeah, you're going to find yourself sharing your experience of everything that you had experienced on this journey, because not only were you going through something, but they were also going through something as well too. It's like that, what I'm hearing Spirit say is life lessons. Like, we were all learning life lessons, but you had to do it separately, because some of you, it might have been more of an easy path, and some of them might have had more of a hard path. But the point of the matter was about being separate, because it was not about one putting pressure on the other one, putting expectations on the other one. And basically what I'm hearing is allowing them to make their own choices. So in other words, so if you've been with somebody and you've been separated from them, and you may find out that their situation has been a little bit more harder than your situation. And that's only because, again, that sometimes when we're a little stubborn or a little, again, it's no judgment, but Thank you, Spirit. What I'm also hearing too is sometimes it's embedded in us from childhood as well too. Like those are some of the things that had to be broken up as well too on this journey as well, because some things were just learned behavior patterns, that generations had passed down from one person to the next, and it was a matter of breaking those cycles in a sense, if that makes sense. Anyway, so just know that this person is going to be open to listening to what it is you have to say. And they're going to come ready and they're going to come ready to listen, should I say. And also, but I also felt like too, like in this same dream, I kind of felt like it was like a continuation of that same dream, because I felt like after I was sharing my journey with this individual, somehow we switched scenes, but we switched scenes together. So there's going to be a situation, and I don't like delivering this news, but I'm just going to say it for what it is. That way you're not caught off guard. So, you at least heard it to kind of prepare yourself, not to cause you to be fearful, but to just so you expect the unexpected. In other words, as I said before, God had told me some time ago in other words, stay on guard and to always expect the unexpected. In other words, don't just expect the unexpected. When you expect the unexpected, you don't have to worry about something kind of tilting you too far off, the balance scale or whatever, should I say. Especially if you're someone that's balanced and grounded. So you don't want it to tilt you too far off. But anyway, so this next dream came in a form, and I felt like it was somebody that you and your spouse may know. I can't tell you who. I just kind of felt like it was like a male type presence is what I got. But apparently this individual had been in a hospital before for whatever reasons. I don't know. But that's how it came to me in a dream. Like someone who you're going to reunite with. You guys know somebody that I guess is a friend of the family, or probably a family member, whether it's the in-laws or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Could be a family friend, co-worker. I don't know who this person is, but apparently whoever this person is someone who had already experienced a situation where they had ended up in a hospital at one point. And what I heard in the dream was they had I saw them kind of ended up back in the hospital for whatever reasons, I don't know. But anyway, so with all that being said, okay. So with all that being said, that was pretty much it for that dream. And I know I've had a dream before where I said someone was going to pass away, and that's just how it came. I didn't get this. All I just heard was that they ended up back in the hospital again. For what reasons, I don't know. And this last one may sound just a little funny, but I'm just telling you how it kind of came in a sense. So some of you may find yourself experiencing this, but it's kind of funny. But I was like, really? Why would that come out of the ethers or whatever, or out of the spirit realm? Anyway, so it was as if like, okay, somebody is going to end up telling their spouse, like, yeah, like, you was sleeping, and while you was sleeping, you kept passing gas while you was sleeping. And then they woke up saying, oh, like, I know, but I wasn't passing gas. They said I was coochie farted. It's when the air is coming out of the vagina area or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it happens, to females or whatever the case may be. But anyway, so that's going to be a situation for somebody. So whoever that was, I guess Spirit just wanted to throw a little joke in here. But I mean, true facts, but I'm just saying. So, yes, I'm going to end that there because that's just pretty much it. But let me go ahead and shuffle a couple cards real quick. So I hope that information was helpful for you guys. So again, just know that some people are being humbled in the process, and just know that make sure you watch your spending. Don't buy anything if you don't need it. Only buy what you need, should I say. Don't let people coerce you into buying something or persuade you, because again, Divine Spirit of Light is just basically testing you. He just wants to know that you're not just going to spend your money on any and everything, just because you're trying to support people. Again, that is something different opposed to like giving to charity and then all that other stuff. There's something totally different, but at the same time, don't over extend your means. And again, some are going to be open to listen to what you have to say in regards to your journey. And just know that they're going to come from a place of non-judgment. And yes, so all right, Spirit, let's get right in. I got 3 deck of cards here, y'all, that Spirit wanted me to use. Oh, thank you, Divine Spirit. Like, what message do you have for the collective? What do you want the collective to know in regards to the messages that came through today? Oh, shit. Why are these cards stuck? What message do you want the collective to know that is pertaining to the messages that came through your prophetic messages? What do you want the collective to know that is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only? That is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only. That is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only. And for those of you who don't know, I just basically shuffle these cards as not a tarot card reader. I just shuffle these cards as inspiration to kind of piggyback off the story or the message that I just gave you or whatever. It's funny because I see happy family at the end. Anyway, so Spirit, what message do you have for the collective? What message do you have for the collective? Strategies. Storm warning. Okay. So want me to pull, let one more come out. What message that is a pure white light, a pure unconditional love only, that you have for the collective? The World card, the Door to Value, the Storm Warning, and Strategy. I'm going to just read them according to the order that I got them in. Strategy, making a plan. This card shows a pen, journey, compass, and key. When you receive this card upright, it indicates that this is an optimal time for setting up a very specific strategy for achieving your goals. Write about the directions you want to go in. Consider any potential changes in course that may be needed. Be aware of the practical regarding your goals and have some conscious plans in mind. Structure the short-term goals needs to make your long-term goals a reality. This card is telling you to spend some time setting things in order. It's time to take full control. Add thoughts to actions and set your sights on the road ahead. So it's kind of almost pertaining to the money situation as well too. Only buying what you need. Storm warning. 10. And I'm sorry, y'all, in case y'all don't know, sometimes, like, I know this seems like ass backwards. I know you guys like, well, you got tarot cards. Why you not like just reading the tarot or whatever the case may be? For me, tarot card readers, for me, I feel like their information comes through them. I don't know if it's just through cards. I don't know, that's not for me to say. But for me, my messages come more through me in the dream, should I say, as well as just intuitive message without the card. So for me, I have always receive message where I have the cards or not, where other people, their messages come through the cards or whatever the case may be. So I say all that to say that's a Hoyoka for you. They do things ass backwards, and that's just what it is. Storm warning. Clouds on the horizon. This card indicates a potential difficulty either in the extreme world or within yourself in your emotional life. The difficulty is coming closer, and you may have, gotta turn the page, y'all, and you may have already heard it rumbling of potential problems around you. The caution here is to be conscious, yet not fearful. Consider what's going on and look at the situation with calm clarity. Investigate your options and honor yourself and your intentions. Stand up for yourself and take action on your own behalf. As with all difficulties, even the worst storm passes. Always remember that you have the power and the wisdom to handle whatever may come your way. And I just got finished telling my mom this morning too, like things is heating up for people. I'm not in the world to basically see it. I only see what really crosses my timeline. If I see something on YouTube or what God's soul spirits want me to end up seeing. And it's like, again, that's my form of news. But I don't even listen to the circus act. I don't even plug into what the president's talking about. I didn't even watch the whole election. I just wasn't even involved. I didn't even get into the whole nonsense with the whole shot thing. I wasn't even entertaining none of that. You know, because it's something about tuning out everything and everyone that you're able to hear so much clear. So that's just what works for me, you know. Doors to value, new beginnings in finance or career. This card shows a door with a gold coin on it, opening to a place that fills with light and bright potential. Money, coins, and jewelry fly towards you through the open doors, revealing a golden city beyond. Excuse me, y'all. All of the points to this potential for exciting new beginnings or expansions where work or money are considered. Perhaps a new opportunity is totally unexpected, or perhaps it's something you've been working towards for quite a while. Either way, keep your eyes open for the new beginnings to appear in your life. Know that anything you value may be open to you now. Remain conscious and creative, and get ready to step through the doors. Boom. So take it how it resonates. Some of you know you can relate to that. Lord knows I can. I've been sitting on the sideline for like 3.5 years. Let me say that. But I'm going to just sit and wait patiently until God say, okay, I'm moving you forward. It's your time. That's all I can do. And that stirs stuff up. I can definitely tell you that definitely stirs stuff up with my other half that I'm separated from. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, once we realize that we can't control other people or control what happens in other people's lives, you know, the better off you'll be. And sometimes I be trying to tell him that, but he don't want to hear that. So he just makes it harder for himself. So I say all that to say that, you know, it is what it is. I can't control that. And, you know, once he realized that he's not God, and I mean, God lives within us, yes, but he doesn't get to control what happens in my life, but he can only control what happens in his own life. The sooner he learns that, the better off he'll be. So the world. Expansion and opening up. The man in the picture is looking out over a bay above which the beauty spheres of the earth is rotating. This card is reminding you to expand your vision and what is that? Contemplation, some much borders option. The world is wider, so there's a lot out there to consider. In the modern age of technology, this could specifically be referring to creating or expanding to a more global network through the internet or social marketing. Drawing this card also lets you know that you have unlimited resources available to you. Now is the time to think big. As they say, the world is your oyster. So get ready to gobble it all up. For those of you who feel like that resonates with you, like, you know, again, for those who had been kind of, you know, take it how it resonates. I'm not going to tell you who it resonates with. But anyway, so, hold on, y'all. I got like 2 more decks or whatever. All right. All right, Spirit, is there any other messages that you want to hear the collective? What message did you want to come through these deck of cards? That is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only. What other messages that you wanted to come through these cards that are pure white light and pure unconditional love only? What other message do you have that is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only? message do you have that is of pure white light and pure unconditional love only? I'm going to take this one because it was about to come out. Joy. Where's the book? 42. Okay, joy. We are created in joy. The balance of energies and higher vibration brings us closer to divine love. Pure joy. Joy can be a destination, but it can also be the vehicle that you use to get to that destination. Faith, grace, gratitude, and love all emerge together at different times and in different in different amounts of create joy. Amounts to create joy. I'm sorry. There is love, growth, tears, changes, and self-realizations in this card. This card portrays a happiness and a joyous time. So keep that in mind, guys. I'm gonna read this last little part again. Faith, grace, gratitude, and love all emerges together at different times in a different amounts to create joy. There is love, growth, change, and self-realization in this card. This card portrays a happy and a joyous time. So keep that in mind. And this last deck, so just know, without all the tears, all the frustration, everything that you had to go through, just know that there will be joy. What did it say? Joy comes back. But joy cometh in the morning. Can't remember the rest of that scripture. Joy cometh in the morning. Thank you, Spirit. What message do you have for the collective that is of pure white light and pure unconditional love only, pertaining to the prophetic messages? What message do you have for the collective that you want to share with them that is of pure white light and pure unconditional love only? What message do you have for the collective? The void. Oh. Void, will. There any other messages? Thank you, Spirit. The unexpected. And I just said that too. Didn't I expect the unexpected? So the first one is void. Okay. Your time to rest and reset is here. Release all that does not serve you. Stop resisting. The void is a time of possibility, not just darkness. There is nothing to fear in letting go of negative patterns and habits, so let go of the old. Okay? I'm not going to read that one more time. You guys can rewind it back to hear it. But if you guys want a little affirmation, you can say, I freely release what I no longer need. I freely release no longer what I need. I freely release what I no longer need. You can state that 3 times. You can state it 3 times every day and get in the habit of it. And it'll kind of like program your mind into knowing, okay, you know what? This is not something that I need. Let me release it. So again, the void. And will. Y'all got free will. Let's see what it's saying. Okay, so decisions require action. You are in control of your own decision and life. No one else. Passion and will determine a great proportion of your success. You will persist. You possess free will, which means that you should focus on yourself first and avoid placing your will over another. Boom. That's what I just said. Didn't I just say that? Once he learned how to stop thinking that he can control my life, and, you know, basically, because I said in a couple other videos, when we learn to worry about ourselves, because that's a hard enough job as it is, you know, you make your life so much more easy and realize that God is in control. I realize I don't have control over him. Not that I'm trying to control him, and, you know, vice versa. But anyway, so if you guys want an affirmation for this one, it says, I have the will to make the change I need. So you can recite that 3 times. You could do it 3 times a day, or you can just recite it when you wake up in the morning 3 times, but just doing it daily, you know, that 21 day, you know, method that they tell you to do it for 21 days. That way it becomes instilled into your head. It's almost like a way of your brain tricking your body into say, hey, you know, I'm in control of this. I have control over myself only, you know. But anyway, and then the last one is unexpected. And I hope you guys understand what it is that I'm trying to say. And let me be clear. I do not have no ill will intent towards my spouse or whatever the case may be. I don't like the stuff that we've been having to go through for like the last 3.5 years. I really don't. Let me say that first and foremost. I don't want you guys to think that I was like, I can't stand this person, because that's not the case. No, I got much love for him. I got much love for him, whether, you know, we're, you know, whether we're separate, or whether, you know, he moves on with his life, or whatever the case may be, or I move on with my life. I just learned to accept as I say, I just learned to expect the unexpected. You know what I mean? And I say all that to say that I got much love for him. And I say that to say that I had to realize this too, because I realized that there was a point in time that I was, you know, how can I say, I could be very influencing, should I say. And, you know, I know sometimes my daughter would tell me that my son tells me that too, that could be a little intimidating. So I try to make sure I don't come off as being that, should I say, and because I know all the changes and transformation that I have been through within the last 3.5 years, you know, it's almost like I've had to learn to release that. Well, let's be honest. We don't always release with these planetary shifts. They definitely do a number on you. You know, Lord knows sometimes good days are better than other days. But I say all that to say, once planetary shifts come through here, you know, and who is it? Pluto, I think it is. That won't let up until you just like admit that, you know, you are, you know, these different planetaries. I said this before. I'm going to say it for the one last time. If they would have taught that these planets really matter in our lives when we was in school, people will be so much more equipped. But that's how they blindside you and keep you blindsided. They teach you about the cosmos, but they don't teach you about, hey, well, Pluto is about this and Pluto is about that. Pluto comes to deliver this. Pluto comes to deliver that. Saturn is here. Saturn is like Santa Claus. Saturn is like the father figure. Saturn is like the dad who's disciplining you. You know what I mean? They don't teach you that stuff. So I say all that stuff and, you know, when I went on this spiritual journey, a guy was like, nope. You know, when I pushed the Bible to the side, again, it's no harm in the word, because I feel like I relate to a little bit of any and everything of every I don't want to say necessary religions, but I can kind of relate in a sense, because there's like a piece of me that at times I feel like I like to cover up my hair, you know, like how Muslims do. I don't wear the hijab on my hair, if I'm saying that correctly. So if I'm not saying it correctly, please don't shoot the messenger or whatever the case may be. But anyway, so I do wear hair wraps. So yeah, there are times I like to cover up, you know, there's times I completely like to cover up. I like to wear long dresses or whatever the case may be. There's times I like to wear short dresses. So, you know, you never know what you're going to get with me. You know, it's like this card say, expect the unexpected. But anyway, so, but yes, so I say all that to say I do not have any ill will intent towards him. I just don't like the place that we have been in for the last 3.5 years. I really don't, for the sake of the kids. And not only that, but I've always let me say this. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit has brought this to my attention, because I didn't know whether I wanted to say this or not. But I say all that to say, when I went on this journey, there was a piece of me that when we separated, I really thought that I was going to be like, my money game was going to be up. You know, I learned new things. I became certified in new things. It got like 5 different certifications, and when I tell you, it's just like, oh my God, like I really built myself up. But I say all that to say that it's just like I just felt like God had me sitting on standby. And I'm like, well, Lord, because I honestly thought I was going to come out here, get these certifications, like, boom, I was going to rush out into the world, just kind of like how we do when we graduate from college, or people graduate from college. You think when you graduate from college, you think that you're going to get out here, you're going to get that good paying job, and, you're going to be like, because I honestly thought I was going to be like, when I was doing something that I was totally meant to do, God told me that no, I can no longer walk that old path that I was doing. In other words, doing early childhood education. So I chose to do other things, but that still involved kids, should I say, but, became certified at it. But I say all that to say that, it's just like, I thought I was just going to go out here, and I thought I was going to live my life, and I thought I was going to be able to just be done with him, like wipe my hands clean, file for a divorce, and all of that stuff. This is real talk right now. I thought I was going to do that. That was my mindset. I was like, when he left, I wanted nothing else to do with him. I was like, he got his kids' cell phones. He can talk to them. He don't need to talk to me. I really thought that that's how it was going to be. And not only that, but I said to myself, like, I got these certifications down. Let me put myself out there. And God was like, whew. If I would have known this right now that I would have known back then, almost 3.5 years ago, God was like, he was like, He's like, I'm not going to let you get away with it like that. Because honestly, I would have wiped my hands clean. I would have had nothing else to do with him. But because I still stay in the house that we both have our names on the mortgage, it's like, God wasn't allowing any of that to happen. I'm like, why, Lord? Why? That's not my intentions. That's not my plan. That's not what I want. I don't want to be spiteful. I just basically want to have my life back. I basically want to be done with this. I want to be free. I want to be free knowing that I'm not still attached to someone else through this house, through this marriage, through all. Oh my God, you don't know how many times I have asked him for a divorce. Let me just tell you, and I know some of you guys are probably like, well, why didn't you just file for a divorce? That costs money. I think I talked to a lawyer like some years ago. He was like, well, yeah, you need this and you need that. And I'm just like, well, good Lord. But anyway, so I say all that to say that I thought I had it all planned out. But then I've asked him several times. I was like, well, just divorce me. Just divorce me. Like seriously, what are you still holding on for? Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. And granted, it can be so freaking frustrated, to the point that I'm just like, Lord, why do I feel like I'm still attached to this individual? And it has been hard. Let me just say that, because you think that you're going to be able to walk away slate clean, move on with your life and be done. And that be close the door on that chapter. It's like, no, God was just leaving the door open. He was just leaving the door open. I'm like, seriously, can we just close that door? Let me just go on and slam it shut, please. But anyway, I say all that to say, and I say that in the most humbling way, it has definitely been hard for me. I'm sure it has been hard for him for whatever reasons. But for me, it definitely has been hard because, just to know that you love and you care about somebody that it's like, and that you're separating yourself from. But I would say all this in the process is definitely teaching you self-control, and is teaching you not to be so attached and not to be codependent on other people. So it's almost like you're still attached to somebody, but you're not like, oh my God, like, come here. We still married. Come here. It wasn't like that at all. It's just like, honestly, it's been a lot of head butting. If you think about two rams head butting each other, that's how him and I have been over the last 3.5 years. And it has not been easy. It has been hard to the point that it kind of spills over into the kids, to the point that the kids kind of get a little frustrated or whatever the case may be. But more importantly, I say all that to say that, on this journey, you have to expect the unexpected, because just you expect your life to go one way and God is going to throw you a curveball and say, that's not how it's going to go down. So I'm pretty sure there was probably points in times, if I can kind of somewhat say this on his behalf, there was probably point in times where he probably felt like, he wanted to walk away as well too, or, like, I want to be done with her, and I can't stand her, and, so on and so on. And here's the kicker. The Spirit is bringing this up. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit's bringing this up too. And I say all that to say that, it's not funny or anything, but it's sad, but it's to the point that, I felt like I had to, so I say all that to say, he became a little bitter, with, I'm sure even more with, with the fact of me taking child support out on him. So you married to somebody, but yet you still taking child support out on him. How weird is that? But anyway, I say all that to say, don't focus on that part. What it is divine spirit of light was just having me to learn to stand up for myself, as well as I guess him stand up for himself, and so many, so that we don't lose ourselves in the process. Because I think being married for like 15 years almost, we kind of lost ourselves within each other rather than being individuals but coming together in a sense, if that makes sense. But I say all that to say, I don't know where it's headed, but I will say this, that I'm just tired. I'm tired of this journey. I'm tired of the back and forth with him. I'm just tired of the cat fighting. I really am. I will say this and be honest about it. Because yesterday I received a bill in the mail that had both of our names on it, and it was a property that we own outside of this property, and it just so happened that it came in a bill. So I basically politely forwarded to him, because again, this was something that he wanted, that we purchased because he wanted it. Because there was a lot of times throughout this marriage, there was times I was like, I don't think we should do that. I don't think we should do that. And I'm kind of glad like we bought this townhouse when we did and not a single family home, because we had got qualified. Just to give you my testimony, we had got qualified for almost like, was it 400,000 for a home? And I was like, I don't think we should do that. I don't think we should do that. So I say all that to say that was me listening to my intuition, because I felt, not because I didn't want to be in a single family home, because I guess for some reason in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking that if something can happen, like the unexpected that's happening now and has been happening on this journey, I was always thinking about, what if the unexpected things come up? Would we be able to afford this on one income? If something was to happen. So that's kind of like how I thought. Not the fact that I didn't want more or want better. I always kind of thought that way. If something happens, would we be able to afford this home on one income? So I say all that to say that, things like that. I'm glad I didn't, because I could have been that female who was like, yeah, let's go for the single family home. It's like, yeah, we living in a house for, 400,000. That's not me. That's not me. I don't flaunt and flash things around, like that. And I teach my kids not to do that too. Because I remember like when my kids were growing up, I used to tell my kids, like, if you got things that's new, you don't have to, because that was a pet peeve of mine. When people bragged about things that they got, it was a pet peeve. Not saying that I didn't have things, because I did have the nice things too. It's just that I didn't brag about them. But I say all that to say, I taught my kids not to do that, especially like when people get new shoes, like, yeah, you like these new shoes, and just stuff like that. I told them, I said, you don't need to brag about any of that stuff. People will see what you have without you even having to tell them. So I tried to instill that into my kids, and I'm glad I did, or whatever, so they're not being out here being materialistic or whatever, or just trying to keep up with the latest of this and that. And again, I say all that to say that a bill had came in the mail unexpectedly, and I thought maybe he had taken care of it. Well, again, my income is limited, should I say. And when I say limited, it's limited because I haven't really worked within the last 3.5 years, or whatever the case may be. And not because it's intentionally, it's just that I've been on standby and sit still, and even though I have kind of worked here and there, should I say, like doing Reiki sessions here and there or whatever. But anyway, we had an incident yesterday to where I forwarded to him. I guess he must have thought about it. He got into his little feelings. And what he did not know is, if he had just came at me and said, you know what, like if he would have just came at me calm and not coming at me like, and I was like, oh no, we're not doing that. Because I told him before, you come at me talking to me, like you do to people that you work with and co-workers and all those other people who probably really don't even deserve that. I say all that to say, not saying that he should be rude and disrespectful to them or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. But people, it's almost like the energy got twisted around. Like instead of, how can I say it? It's almost like he gives me the nasty side of the energy, but he gives everybody else who doesn't deserve the positive energy, he gives it to them. but thinks he's gonna drop the nasty energy off on me. And I was like, nope, we're not doing that. You know, it got to a point that I had to block him probably about a month ago, and I was just like, I'm not dealing with this. You know, whatever drama he got going on over there, he can keep it over there, because I'm at peace and I want to stay at peace, and I don't want to deal with nobody else's stuff. If you coming at me and you coming at me correct, by all means, I'll consider whether I want to let you back into my space, whether it's him, other family members, neighbors, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm not accepting people's BS any longer. I don't care who you are. As I said before, mother, kid, spouse, uncle, cousin, sister, brother, neighbor, I don't care who, you know, and I say that in a humbling way. But again, if he had to just approach me in a totally different way, what he would have known was that I was willing to try to help with paying that bill or whatever. But because, to be honest with you, there was a point in time where he had actually told me that I created certain messes, and you know, you could say it as such or whatever the case may be, because you know, I was trying to rebuild my life or whatever. So at the time, you know, wasn't working or whatever. So he had that. I could do nothing but accept that. But I say all that to say, you know, got to a point, I was like, you know what, this is something that you wanted, not necessarily I wanted, because I tried to fight you on it, you know, purchasing this extra property, but you wanted it. But because you wanted it, and you know, there were always times when I would be like, no, I don't think we should do that. But there was the one time he's like, you know, I really want this. So not that I allowed him to have it, but I was like, you know what, he really wants this, so go on and let him have it or whatever. But yet he coming at me getting upset because now is a bill in the mail that was unexpected. So I say all that to say, not to throw him under the bus, I'm just telling you just the stuff that I'm dealing with behind the scenes that you guys don't see. So yeah, I received these prophetic messages, and you know, I'm doing other things behind the scene or whatever the case may be. And yes, it's kind of like I have to be a sitting duck until God say, okay, it's your time to move. Let's go. Let's get it on. So until then, that's all I can do. Yes. Because, yeah. Anyway, so I say all that to say, again, it's no hard feelings towards him. I just realize that that's his path, that's he have to walk. So until he changes his perspective, you know, he's going to keep finding himself in the same old situation, because I can't allow him to do the things that he was doing before. In other words, you know, thinking that he was going to, and I'm like, no. So anyway, but, yeah, so keep that in mind. Anyway, let me read this unexpected card. It's a little past a minute. Anyway, unexpected. I just want to give you guys that, and not to be trying to tell my business, but just let you know that this is the stuff that you don't see with people all across the internet. People are only painting these picture perfect situations, and I'm just letting you know that no, this is real life. This is SHIT that is actually happening in people's lives right now. Like, you know, I was meant to be here to be the difference. That's why I say, and I got to go wash my hair when I'm done too. So that's why I say, if you see me coming on here, don't focus on the fact that I got a towel on my head. Focus on the message that I'm giving. You know, if we get out of that mindset of, oh my God, like she's coming with a towel on her head, let me not even listen to what she have to say. Well, then you're going to miss the message. So that's why I said, don't mind me the way I look, because sometimes I'm not dressed up. A lot of times I'm not dressed up, because a lot of times I'm doing these videos after coming from out walking my dog in the mornings, and you know, I have a routine. I try to get things done, and there's times that I am dressed up because I got somewhere I gotta go to. So, but anyway, just always expect the unexpected, as I said, especially for me too. The unexpected, no matter how well you plan, there is always room for the unexpected to occur. Build your resilience, as rare occurrence can happen. Okay. Build your resilience, as a rare occurrence can happen. A visitor you have not seen in a long time may re-enter your life. So I did just tell y'all that there was a situation of where somebody's coming to you, and basically they're going to be humbled in a sense to where they actually hearing what it is that you have to say. Okay, let me read this little part right here, though. It says, some of us love surprises, some of us don't, but But I don't think anyone can go through life without something having the unexpected happen to them. While some professionals in particular, such as the military and medicine, try to plan for everything that they could go wrong. Like I gave you that story the other day when I was talking about a family member who was going through chemotherapy treatment. I had to say something to the doctor or whatever. Kind of like that situation, because she was even trying to control those family members into doing what she wanted them to do by kind of threatening to get like DCS involved or whatever with the situation. But again, trying to control the situation, playing God in a sense, rather than just allowing it to be and putting herself in that young family's shoes. Anyway, life sometimes finds a way to outsmart the most through thoughts of plans. This is simply life, although it is important for us to know where, how, and why we are traveling down a particular path. That has been my path. I told you, through the last 3.5 years, I've just been like unexpected, especially when it comes down to pursuing my career or whatever. And why we are traveling down a particular path. We should always make room for it. Make room for and expect the unexpected. So, and this is what I wasn't expecting, because as I said before, I was expecting to be done, divorce, be separated, not having to deal with him, and God was like, you're not gonna get out of that too easily, like that's what you want to do, but I'm gonna do just the opposite of what you want to do. And so yeah, but had I known what I knew now, I probably wouldn't have even made all those comments. And maybe that's just like a way of me kind of trying to outsmart God in a sense, by just saying maybe if I wouldn't have thought those things, maybe things would have happened for me. Excuse me. But anyway, I hope that message was helpful for you guys. So just keep in mind, as I said, somebody is going to be returning to your life. It's going to be an unexpected surprise. And I think I've seen that in the last 3 messages. And just keep in mind that they're going to be open to what it is that you have to say. So again, let's not judge those who are giving us a hard time, should I say, including myself. I make it a point not to judge them, to be honest with you. I deal with the situation, then I move on from it. Last night I said a prayer about it, I went to bed or whatever, and I left it alone, after sending him an email back or whatever. But I say all that to say that just know that they're going through the unexpected as well too, is what I'm hearing. Thank you, Spirit, that they're also going through the unexpected. So they're not expecting probably you to respond the way that you're responding to them, and that's throwing them off guard, because you're doing something different is what I'm hearing. And unlike before, whereas before you entertained them like, okay, yeah, you argue with them, you gave into their arguments, and then now it's to the point that you're not arguing with them, you limit your conversation, you block them. That's not stuff that they're used to. So now it's like they're kind of getting a rude awakening, whoever it may be. Again, I'm not judging, because I'm sure there was times when he probably blocked me as well too, but I say all that to say, I hope that information was helpful for someone. Until the next time, as I said, the spiritual room was definitely active last night. So for me, I can see like how the energy, and I noticed that we just kind of came into August. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit is bringing that to my attention. I think because we just came into August. Today is the 1st, right? Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Oh yeah, thank you. If I didn't click on my phone, I would have forgot all about this. Yeah, today is the 1st. So that's why the spiritual realm was so active yesterday. We coming up on that 8/8 portal. And I'm going to tell y'all about that story too. What happened to me and how myself and my spouse became separated and activated around 2017. I'll never forget it. August 2017. Yeah, so if I receive a message, a prophetic message, or maybe I'll just do an intuitive message, but I would definitely like to share like how the ball got rolling, because I noticed the signs and I knew something was off, and I just wasn't quite for sure. And I say that to say that some of you, if you're already on this journey, you will probably know what I'm talking about, whether even if you're at the early stages or even at the way probably 2 quarters in or whatever, whether you're 3 quarters in, let's just say it's gonna be a whole dollar or whatever the case may be, whether you're 3 quarters in, whether you're 4 quarters in. you know, you're gonna kind of know what I'm talking about. Those signs were kind of there, like, huh? But anyway, so let me say this too. I'm gonna drop in the description box below, because this song was playing in my head this morning. I told you guys before that I get intuitive hits with music playing in my ear. The song wasn't playing. The music comes up because Spirit wants me to go and read the lyrics to the song. So this is a situation that some of you guys are going to be dealing with. And because it was talking about the romantic, oh, not romantic, because it was talking about a surprise is going to come back, and, you know, people going to come back in your life, and they're, you know, it's going to be unexpected, should I say. Listen to the lyrics to this song in the description box below. Just click on it and just read the lyrics. I just thought it was so funny, because when I heard it playing, I immediately had to go Google the lyrics. I knew the song, but I just don't know all the words. You know, sometimes, you know, we're humming to words we think we know, or I know for me, sometimes I'm thinking I make up my own words. Not that I'm doing it intentionally, is because I thought that's what they were saying before, you know, lyrics and stuff actually started coming about. But anyway, but I would tell my kids, I was like, oh, I thought they were saying this all this time. But anyway, so yeah, I'll put in the description box below. So go listen to the music if you feel compelled to. But most of you guys will know the song or whatever. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm just put in the description box below. But just read the description of the details. Anyway, I'm wishing y'all much love, much light on your journey. And hopefully this message was very helpful for some of you out there. And just be mindful, again, with the situation, expect the unexpected, especially with those situations of someone again ended up in the hospital. And I just wanted to remind that to you guys before we get off, just so that you just try to stay grounded is what I'm hearing. Stay grounded, but stay open and expect the unexpected. So anyway, you guys have a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I'm going to wash my hair, going to get some quiet time in and finish watching this movie with my kids. But I would love you all, and you guys stay blessed and stay peaceful. And I say much love, much light. Bye.